Julia Roberts has been captivating hearts with that smile and iconic roles for over 3 decades. She's also a good sport, indulging us in a game of Where Are They Now? Your characters today, what do you think Mystic Pizza would be doing today, Daisy and Charles?
Gosh, that's an interesting... Let's hope they're still together and they have a bunch of cute little kiddos.
Pretty Woman, because that's where we all heard that Julia Roberts laugh. I still love your laugh to this day. The limo whisked her away. I was like, golly. I mean, I love that iconic line, a big mistake. I love that. Where do you think Vivian would be today? Would they still be together?
I think he passed away peacefully in his sleep from a heart attack, smiling. And now she runs his business.
Oh, I like that, Julia. My best friend's wedding. End of the movie, Jules, as you know, is left hanging out with her gay best friend. Do you think anything ended up happening with Michael?
No.
You don't?
He's married and faithful to his wife, and George and Julianne start a do-it-yourself show on HGTV and become wildly famous.
You're good. You're good. Runaway Bride. Maggie literally rides off into the sunset with Richard Gere after leaving 4 other men at the altar. What happens to her?
They stay together. He doesn't die in this one.
He doesn't?
They're
Okay.
going to stay together.
Notting Hill. Is she still acting?
No, she's retired. She has 6 children and has maintained her waist size amazingly. And yeah, they have he runs the bookshop still, and now there's a little knitting annex to the bookshop that she runs.
She has discovered Spanx. Pelican Brief. Darby Shaw and Denzel's character. Do they get together? Because they go in the line of the movie, but they go right up to it, but there really is no physical contact. Do they get together?
To me, the end of the movie, they're absolutely together. And someone
Really?
just said this to me the other
They're
day.
watching TV.
Yeah, and then the journalist says, well, your source, me, seems too good to be true. And he says, in a way that only Denzel can, she just might be. And then in slow motion, I put my head down with my cheeks pink, and that says it all to me.
So they're together.
That's what I thought everybody thought. I think he's in love with her. She's in love with him.
Get in the car right now!
In the new apocalyptic thriller, Leave the World Behind, directed by Sam Esmail, Julia plays a skeptical spouse.
Someone's here. Get a bat.
A bat?
Yeah.
Why would I have a bat?
Well, I can just tell you, it scared the beep out of me. And the reason why it was so scary is because it was so normal in terms of the way we live our lives, how things can just go bad so very quickly.
Yeah.
In terms of losing internet, no GPS.
Yeah, no cell service,
Yes.
no all those things that have become these daily crutches. They're not luxuries anymore. Sam calls it a disaster movie. Ethan calls it a thriller. It's both those things, but to me, it's a story about this family, this husband and wife who are kind of opposites. He's the quieter, more laid back, and she's this prickly workaholic.
There's many layers to it, Julia, because there's race, there's class, there's politics. That's the other thing that I liked about it. All of these are so relevant today about how we make judgments about people and about situations that may not be what they appear to be.
Well, and I think that Amanda has created this sense of, judging from a distance, where she sees any situation, any person coming, and she's got it all figured out before they even get in the door.
Could I see your ID?
Oh, Amanda.
It's a fair ask. You're a stranger showing up in the middle of the night. My kids are upstairs.
I think the ending could be left open to interpretation. True?
I think so, yeah.
And I'm wondering, was that a deliberate choice?
Well,
Or do you know, Julia
yes,
Roberts, how it ends?
I know everything, Gayle.
Yeah.
There's so much to unpack, when you're talking about this movie. There's just so many different ideas to talk about. There's so much fragility in the world to talk about. There's so much that really is in our capable hands that we're not being truly responsible with.
Dance for me, baby.
In this tense film, there's a scene where Julia's character lets loose. They have this great dance scene. I love the song Too Close. Did the script just say, okay, now start dancing, or was it all choreographed? I was curious.
Well, I can't remember what the script said exactly, but the one thing that I thought was funny was because I had on this sweater, and Sam was like, "You got to get that sweater off." And so there's a moment where I walk over to the chair and I take it off and I kind of like reset myself for here's my big moves coming, you know, which I just thought was really funny. And for Amanda, who's someone who's pretty stiff in life, to have just a tiny moment where she's, you know, a freshman in college and
Yes. We got to see a glimpse that she could actually be a fun girl.
yeah.
Now it seems Julia's heard too close, too much.
Oh God, no,
Come on, Julia.
Oh no.
I will if you will.
I was so excited for a minute, but I've danced to this song too many times. You go, Gayle. You go, Gayle.
Julia's real-life dance partner is her husband of 21 years, Danny Motor. They have 3 children.
Then there'll come a time where it'll just be you and Danny Motor. How awful is that going to be?
Terrible.
I mean, this is the thing about you and Danny. You can't even say his name without seeing 110 teeth. How is this possible? And I so love this about the two of you.
It's so embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. How did you know because you dated some really wonderful people. You seem to be in love many, many times, but you said, this is the one that you knew.
My person.
Yes,
Yeah.
that he was your person.
Yeah.
What is, I mean, you're watering up. What is it about him? I'm serious.
Oh, he's just a really, he's just my favorite human.
Yeah.
He's so smart and kind and dynamic in the way that he looks at the world and admires people, and he's just so, I don't know, he's just so strong and loving and.
But still, I love this. I really do. I'm a hopeless romantic. Can I want to show you something. This was back in the day. This is Julia Roberts after Steel Magnolia, 1989. You have to look at this interview.
Oh,
because I
God.
think it's so.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's not blackmail material. It's really, really lovely.
I think for now I'm just working really hard, so I deserve that day when it comes and I'll be able to enjoy a more normal life and distance myself from the business a little more and not be forgotten about.
I clearly hadn't met Serge.
No, but I mean, listen, no, I think you look stunning there, but Serge is wonderful, hair master extraordinaire. But just what you said back then.
Yeah.
What do you think when you look at that word? Because
I'm
it
kind
seems
of-
like you've done this.
It's interesting. I'm speaking in a way of such kind of the long game of life at such a
Yes.
young age. Well done me, wise beyond my years.
And we are pushing the button on one of the most versatile talents in the industry, Taraji P. Henson. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Thank you so much for that.
Of course, of course. Now, we just watched you perform, Push the Button. What was it like? Because you weren't just singing, you were singing and performing and dancing and moving.
Yes, thank you. Well, I went to Howard University and I studied musical theater, so I had some training there. But it's just incredible when you get to sing, dance, and act. It's so much fun.
But it's fun, but it's also hard
It's a lot of work. Oh, no,
because
no, no.
You were jumping up on tables. You don't have a stunt double when you're
No.
doing something like this, right?
No.
Were you sore?
Very sore. Actually, Miss Oprah Winfrey counted how many times I climbed up on the table, and it was 88 times.
88 times?
88 times. And what you did not see was me icing my knees in between takes.
Wow.
Taraji,
Yeah.
was it intimidating at all singing like that? Because I didn't know you could sing, right? I've heard you do a little bit, but especially in a movie full of singers.
Oh, absolutely, I was intimidated. That's why I started training with my vocal coach, Stevie Mackey. Hey, Stevie! In LA, we started training about 2 months before I even went to Atlanta to start filming. So, yeah, I had to get on top of it because I knew after that, then we were gonna add the layer of choreography and then
Sheesh.
talking and walking, and so I needed the music in me to live in me.
Yeah, you had to build this character.
Absolutely.
What was your inspiration, your source material? How did you construct this performance?
Oh, well, you know, Alice Walker did a thing with the book. I mean, it's all in the Bible. In her book, I call her book The Bible, The Color Purple. But, you know, I listen to a lot of music. We're complaining about what the girls are rapping and singing about now. Did you ever hear about what they sang about back then?
Facts.
So I started listening to a lot of Bessie Smith. I found this really incredible artist Ida Cox, who sings about Wild Woman Don't Have the Blues, because, you know, that would be Suge. And then I found this other interesting artist, Pygmy Terry, that talks about the Black Sheep's blues. And, you know, Suge Avery was a black sheep of her time as well. So I would just get in the tub, and a tub full of bubbles, and just lay back and listen to these women, and I would let it just kind of overtake my body.
Kind of wash over.
You know, kind of wash over me, yeah.
You know, I'm always fascinated by artists and how they identify with the roles that they are taking. Are there any parallels between Suge Avery and Taraji P. Henson?
I would think so. I think I'm apologetically myself. You know, I left my zip code and went out into a big, scary world and made my dreams come true.
Without much in your pockets or bank account.
Much in my, exactly. And, you know, the difference between Suge and I is I took my kid with me. She left her kids behind.
Right.
That's what I love about your story, Taraji.
Yeah.
I mean, you were pregnant in college with your high school sweetheart. You had your son. And for a lot of people, that would be a wrap on their dreams. But you took your son, you went to Hollywood, and you did it. You doubled down. Where did that come from?
From people saying I wouldn't be able to do it. If you want to see me do, I will prove you wrong every time you doubt me. So that's what it was. And it wasn't even that, really. It was just, I just didn't feel like having a kid was a reason to drop out. If anything, yes, there is financial issues and everything, but I just signed, I filled out, I got loans, I got student loans. I just made up my mind that I was not gonna quit, because if I quit, then what am I teaching my son?
It was a reason to turn up.
Absolutely. I was like, if anything, I have the most greatest inspiration to keep going. A kid, you know?
I was reading you were going to be an electrical engineer. That was your alternative career path?
Well, no, I didn't get accepted to the High School of Fine Arts in D.C. So at that young age, I thought that meant, you know, you don't know what to do with that kind of rejection when you're little. You take it for face value, and I did. And I just followed behind a really good friend of mine, Candace Dickens. Hey, girl. She's really smart and wired mathematically, and she went to school for the career that she's doing now, and I followed behind her and failed pre-calc.
Yeah. This movie is a compliment to the original, and it serves so many lessons and deals with themes that are relevant, like lifting each other up when you're down. When you were going through your journey of becoming who you are today, I know it always wasn't sunshine and rainbows.
No, it still isn't.
It still isn't, you're right. Who or what lifted you up in some of your dark moments, or who does?
Well, I still have a praying grandmother. She will make 100 in April, and nothing like a praying grandmother.
That's right.
Okay?
Yep.
Powerful.
And I have an incredible mother. I have an incredible family. They literally we check on each other every day. And I have an amazing sister circle. Yeah, in the industry, and I have a sister circle that I've had since, my best friend. Yeah. And she runs my mental health foundation. We've been best friends since the 7th grade.
Really?
I love what you've done with mental health, really trying to destigmatize talking about mental health issues, especially in the Black community.
Right about that.
And, you know, it's something that even this movie kind of is an extension of that. I noticed that you don't dwell on the trauma in the movie. There's tons of trauma in this story, but it's really about the joy.
Yeah, but that's us as a people. I mean, think about what's been done to Black people throughout history and still happening today. And we're just vibrant people. Like, we just don't wallow in our traumas. We don't let it consume us. We will sing, we will go to church, we will dance.
Jump on tables.
All of that.
All through the trauma.
All through the trauma.
I love where you are with your career, and I love your view on retirement. You want to be enjoying the fruits of your labor, and soon you want to be in a position where, did you see this quote? I can rent a yacht and call my family and say, meet me in Spain.
And send a private jet.
Ooh, okay.
That's cookie.
Listen, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your contributions, not just to the industry, but also what you do off camera.
Thank you so
You are
much.
incredible talent.
Thank you. Thank you.
We
I
recognize you and
appreciate
celebrate you.
And there's Oscar buzz.
That's right.
I'll leave you with that. Ava DuVernay is here for her first broadcast TV interview about the movie. Good morning to you, Ava DuVernay.
Good morning, Gayle.
Vlad and I are so
Vlad.
excited. Vlad went to the premiere and he came back the next day and said, wait till you see the movie. It's Ava's masterpiece. But Vlad, you are not alone. Here's one review that says, rich in thought, Origin is a dense force masterwork and quite simply the most radical film of Ava DuVernay's career. Bravo, Ava, bravo. The accolades are pouring in for you all over the place. but I'm so struck by this movie because there's a great line in it where it says, you don't escape trauma by ignoring it, you escape trauma by confronting it. And you certainly did that.
Well, that's what history is, right? We have to take a look at what has happened in order to move forward more powerfully, more, I don't know, alive, I think. And so I love, whether it's Selma or 13th, I love just digging in and understanding how we got here. And that's the core of what Origin is about.
But it says that you read the book cast 3 times to decide, because most people thought, hey, this can't be a movie, it's better as a documentary, but you saw something that nobody else did. What did you see?
Well, when people say it's an unadaptable book, you know, you just decide, let's just adapt it. But I was just fascinated by the material in it. I wanted more people to know about it. I know that that the film form is the loudest, most emotional art form to me. It is the way that we can really express the ideas emotionally if we do it visually. And so that was the goal, and we tried.
One of the things that you were
And you succeeded.
Absolutely, beyond anybody's wildest imagination. But I think what was really fascinating is you centered Isabel, played by Anjanou Ellis, at the center of the story, because when you were looking at the book and trying to figure out how would you tell it narratively and cinematically, you said the one constant is Isabel, as she makes this journey from Trayvon Martin to the Holocaust to the Dalits in India.
Right. So the book is a book of philosophy, social history. It's a cultural thesis. It's a dense book. I was looking for characters throughout the book, and who I found that was the most prominent was the author herself. She would use the first person. She would talk about her research, and she started to rise from the pages. And so my idea was let the film have her walk us through her research in the book. And so basically the film is her gathering evidence about these historical secret arcs in history that we don't know are connected.
Yeah, but Howard, that's the thing that got me, Vlad.
Right.
That I hadn't thought about it that way, and I read the book when it first came out, but the way it comes across on the screen, it really shows you how they're all connected.
Yes.
So for people who haven't seen the movie and haven't read the book, how is it all connected? Because it really is.
Yeah, well, caste, as Isabel Wilkerson describes it, is a social hierarchy that determines your power and your status. And so when you apply that...
It doesn't have anything to do with race, necessarily.
You know, it's the foundation of all the isms, racism, sexism, homophobia, you know, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, all the isms are undergirded by the idea of caste. Someone is better than someone else. Depending on a random set of traits, someone's better. And so that's her thesis. And so in the film, we look at 3 main areas: India, America, and the American South in particular, and slavery, and we look at Nazi Germany. And we look at how those all intersect with that same foundation, someone being better than someone else. And the film just threads those together, so you start to see there's a unity to the things that are wrong, and there's a unity in looking at how to make it right if we know and we're using the right vocabulary, the right language. And let me correct that, not right, just it's a new set of tools to think about the things that are wrong. And that's what I think the film and the book provided.
Yeah, because one of the things that's really fascinating, as I was watching the film and thinking about the world that we're living in today and the things that are happening around the planet today, in the Middle East, here in the United States, I thought to myself, well, you know, this is such an important movie to come out at this point. I'm watching these horrific scenes of Jewish people in concentration camps, and then juxtaposed with Africans coming to the United States in the slave ships. It was so powerful, and I thought, what do you want people to take away from the film about what is happening now?
You know what, more than anything, I want people to take away from the film a question of who am I now? This is a personal, internal review. This is what I hope the film offers. We can think broadly, we can think about society and culture, but ultimately, society and culture is made up of us as individuals, the way that we think, the way that we regard one another, what we believe. And so, you know, I'm constantly trying to excavate and explore my own beliefs and the way that I treat folk. And the film is an invitation for us all to do that.
Well, there was a very powerful thing towards the end where they said, listen, I wasn't there. I didn't have anything to do with slavery. I love this part. I didn't mistreat people in India. I didn't have anything to do with the Holocaust. Yet in the movie they said, yeah, but we are here now.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean,
you have to acknowledge that.
That's right. It's easy to dismiss it, say it happened in the past, but Isabel Wilkerson uses this beautiful analogy in her book. You know, America is like an old house. You know, when you move into an old house, you can't disregard the things that are wrong in it, or you can't live in it properly. You're not going to have a good life in the house. You have to fix the cracks. You have to go into the basement. You have to patch the roof. It's the same thing here. We need to look at these things, and we need to work together to fix them.
And Ava, the way you got this film made, bravo to Ava on this. Because you didn't go the typical route. You became like a one-man machine.
Yes, a one-woman machine. Yes. Well, this film is about as opposite to a Marvel movie or a studio film as you can get. And so instead of wasting my time asking them, I just went out and talked to some folks at the Ford Foundation and other key foundations, Pivotal and Emerson, and said, can we make it together? So I went to philanthropists and people who are like-minded for the social good, and that's how the film got financed.
And now we got it financed, and now we want it to streaming.
America needs to see it, yeah.
Because it's in select theaters now.
It's in select theaters on January 19th.
Okay.
Around the country.
And young people can also take advantage of the Seat 16 program, which allows you to get tickets for 16-year-olds to go see
Yes, Seat 16, not Sweet 16, isn't it?
Yes.
Seat16.com. You can go on, buy a ticket for a young person, and they also get a 1-year subscription to Masterclass.
Was that your idea, too?
Yeah.
I am here representing all things purple to tell you that you are our Sophia.
Oh, man, let's enjoy that for a second. Welcome back to CBS Mornings. That's Oprah. There's only one. Surprising Danielle Brooks with the news that she had been cast in the highly anticipated musical adaptation of The Color Purple. I can never just say it right. Oprah earned an Oscar nomination for playing the fiercely independent Sophia. Look at this in the original 1985. Look at your face, Oprah, based on Alice Walker's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. Oh, I just love that scene. This time, she is a new movie's producer. Brooks, who played Tacy, remember her in the series Orange is the New Black? You do. Made her Broadway debut as Sophia in the revival of The Color Purple. A lot of full circles going on here. Now she's revisiting the role on the big screen. And yesterday, thank you very much, she earned a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Congratulations. In this clip, Sophia meets the father of her fiancé. That would be Harpo.
Who's kin of you, gal? You seem like trouble.
Oh, no, sir. I'm one of August Butler's daughters. No trouble at all. Just big.
Who the daddy?
Apple.
I ain't gonna let you marry my son, cause you in the family way. Petty gal like you can take his mind, but you can't have his money.
He ain't got no money. See, my sister and her husband say I can live with them as long as I please. Now, I come here out of respect. But if there ain't none to get, then sure ain't none to get. Don't keep me waiting.
Love that line. I love that line, too.
Wow.
Oprah and Danielle Brooks join us first on CBS Mornings. Welcome, welcome, and congratulations again, Dan.
Thank you, Miss Gayle. Thank you, guys.
Oprah, take us back to that
Thanks
moment.
for all the purple.
I know.
For the purple
we got the assignment, Oprah. We got it. We got the assignment.
Understood the assignment. You really understood it.
It had to come through.
You got the A+++.
Nate just had this in his closet, too.
Yeah,
Oh, my
that's
goodness.
right.
So good.
I know.
Lying, Gayle.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was saving it for you. I told Gayle a long time ago, I got a purple suit I'm gonna wear when Oprah shows up for the color.
Yes.
And today is the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take us back to that day, because Oprah, I remember she was so excited about making that call to you, Danielle, because she said she is the one, she's the one.
Yes.
What that moment was like for both of you. Did it feel to you like handing
I felt
a baton?
like, first of all, I wanted to make the call myself
Yes, you
because
did.
Sophia has been such, an iconic
part of you.
a part of me. And The Color Purple has been such an amazing part of my life. And so we actually had her waiting. She thought she was going to have to go through another
meeting with Blitz.
Another meeting with Blitz.
After 6 months.
The tragic wow.
Yes, of auditioning and meetings. And when she came on that screen, that is a true reaction. I had no idea.
You were holding your chest.
That's all I could do.
Why?
Because I couldn't breathe. It's like, it's a dream come true. And like I said to you before, in that moment, I knew, I could feel it in every inch of my body. My life was about to change.
But now you're a Golden Globe nominee, and I've heard you say that even until recently, you felt like an imposter. How could that be, Danielle? You were on the Tony stage.
I know.
You were nominated for a Tony.
I was, but that's when it began because I had been auditioning for off-Broadway and Broadway shows for a while, and that's where my heart really lied, in the theater. And so for me to now be in this position where people are celebrating me in this way to get a Tony nomination, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna find out I'm a fraud, I can't really sing, and da-da-da-da-da.
The next day you called in sick after this
I
nomination.
called in sick the next day because my nerves were so bad. And it was because of Sophia and the strength that she has in singing Hell No every night. I got to say hell no to my fears and my imposter syndrome and knock that thing out the way.
I love that. I also think a lot of people will connect to the history here because it's deep. You were 15 years old. Your father takes you to see your very first Broadway show of any kind, and it's The Color Purple.
Yes.
10 years later, you're playing Sophia on Broadway yourself.
Yes.
And now you're here. Talk to me about that trajectory.
Look what God has done. That is the trajectory. I mean, it is so full circle in so many ways to have that experience with my father, to see people that looked like me on that screen, that gave me the courage to say, man, I can maybe do this. Come out of South Carolina, come to New York and make this dream a reality. And then 10 years later, to be in the Broadway show, my first Broadway show, was incredible. And then however many years later, to do my first studio film with The Color Purple. It's just a lot of amazing God moments.
But I wonder what it's like for you too, Oprah, because it was a God-like moment for you from the very beginning, from the moment you read this book.
It,
yeah, I did live it. To see someone else, because your role is so iconic.
Yeah.
Were you wondering?
Gayle was there when Gayle was there the day for the marriage scene.
Yes.
And there's a picture of us where I'm holding, where
you're
I
in
say,
that
I was
scene.
married now.
Don't blink. Don't blink. Don't cough or sneeze. But what is it like for you to? Release isn't the right word to release this role. But what is it like for you? Because I know what.
Well,
Sophia
I
means
wanted to
you.
be there. I was there for much of the filming, but particularly made it my business to be there the day of the "You Told Harpo to Beat Me" scene, because that has been, such a moment. And it felt literally like passing the baton. There's a wonderful line in Song of Solomon where Toni Morrison talks about passing it on, passing it on, passing it on. And I got to do that. And we both hugged and cried after she finished
You
that
did? You
scene. And I
cried?
said, it is officially done.
Yes, you did.
You have taken it and made it yours.
Yes,
It is
you did.
officially done.
It's such a job well done because it's hard to, one, compliment such a classic movie, but then you're also capturing an era with how you talk, how you walk, the lighting, the visuals, aesthetically. You guys do it all. But while I'm watching the movie, I realized that there are some themes and some parallels that are still relevant today. Did
Very
you
much
find
so.
when you were shooting the movie that there are certain things in that movie that we still deal with?
Nate, I think that's such a really valuable question because, we live in a world of social media and AI and all that, and this is what will endure.
That's right.
Hope will endure. Forgiveness will endure. Joy will endure. Finding the God within you, self-empowerment will endure. And what I love about this version, this new version, first of all, you can't say nothing about the original because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Love that. But I will say that this version is more joyous. It's more buoyant. It's more vibrant. There's a
It's jubilant.
Yes, it's jubilant. You come away with a sense of being filled with joy and hopefulness and not feeling down at all. I think that's what's different,
I
don't
agree.
you?
Yeah, for sure.
And what I loved about your Sophia is that you made her so fun. I wasn't as fun as you.
Oh, I saw it though.
No,
I saw
wasn't,
so many glimpses of
No,
that.
but you were fun. Don't keep me waiting.
Yes,
You were more fun. You were more fun.
No, I just have to say this.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but that's true.
Yeah, hers is.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like
but
that.
I think the beauty of this is we get to share in this moment, but I just appreciate how she's held my hand through this entire process.
Did she?
Yes, she
Because wouldn't it
did.
be, I would think it would be like cooking for Julia Child. I'd be so intimidated if I knew Oprah was on set and I was playing Oprah's role.
Oh my God, of course I was intimidated, yes, without a
But yet
doubt.
you had a relaxation to you too.
Because
Why?
I felt that she gave me permission in that phone call when she said I passed the baton. That was, I heard, make it yours.
You wrote down some advice that Oprah gave you. What was that?
Oh, there's so many. But she did say, what Maya Angelou shared with you, I come as one and I stand as 10,000. And that's really what I stood on.
Yeah.
That, yes, you have all of these things that go on in your head of fear and all of that, but I have a responsibility to all of the Sophias that are living in this world that need a voice, that need somebody to speak for them, which she was for me, and now I can be for someone else.
What I'm enjoying about this purple moment that we're all dressed here is that you all have been cover girls on many, many publications recently. They never get old.
I love it.
We've got a reveal today. This one is an exclusive reveal, the new Hollywood Reporter cover with you guys, the cast of the color. There you go. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. That's
Go ahead, chocolate. All right now.
Oh, you know what I love the most is the cover line, the divine sisterhood of the color purple.
It was a sisterhood, wasn't it?
Yes,
guys?
yes.
This set was very different than other sets that I haven't been on many, but this set was very different than what I've seen, Oprah.
And the divine sisterhood continues. I mean, I think, you know what the color purple was for me in '85, and the bonds that I created there, particularly with Quincy Jones and people. I mean, when I left, I didn't want it to end.
Yes,
and I think we all have that same experience, that you'll have people in your life forever.
You made $35,000, as I recall, for that movie.
Yes.
You would have done it for nothing.
I said to my attorney at the time, please don't ask for 50, don't ask for 50. He says, I can get you 50. I go, don't ask for 50, don't. Yes.
I kind of felt the same way, no lie.
Well, you done all right. You done all right.
did all right.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Oprah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you all for the purple celebration.
And a divine experience. It's a divine movie, really. Congratulations.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, my guy. Hey, what's up, folks?
I appreciate you joining me.
Right on. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. So what does it mean to be able to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop in this way for this special?
Oh, this is groovy like a drive-in movie, man. I love it, man. They didn't think hip-hop would get this far, and it did. It's beautiful because it comes from the urban community. We are able to tell our stories and our struggles and talk about, you know, the ups and downs and the highs and lows of life.
Of course. Getting back to that special, this concert is going to be dope. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited to see, you know, all my peers, people that came in the game with me, people that started before me.
Yeah.
You know, and just a big family reunion.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to perform with them as well. I love it, man. It's a great idea to put this together.
Yeah, well-deserving to everybody that's going to be involved. So you burst on the scene more than 30 years ago, and you have created longevity.
Absolutely.
What is the key to longevity?
Staying consistent, believing in God, turning with the times, because the times will turn on you if you don't. You don't want to be outdated. You want to be gamed up. You know what I'm saying? You want to be locked in like a safe. You know, you want to be dialed in, buttoned up.
You've stayed with the times, you've evolved with the times, but you have also remained true to you and your original sound.
Absolutely.
And your sound is synonymous with West Coast hip-hop. I mean, you got a whole language out there that people rock with and talk with.
I do.
How does that feel?
It feels good, man. My fan base is everything to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like everybody. I want to just be me.
Yeah.
I'm futuristic.
When it comes to music, you have said that your music is therapeutic.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I have songs for every emotion. I got songs for when you're down and out. I got songs when you're celebrating, everything.
How has it been therapeutic to you? Because I'm pretty sure life hasn't always been easy. You've been through hard times.
It's never been a cakewalk. Yeah, I make it look easy, but it's not. Growing up in the 80s, you know, a lot of street stuff. I'm glad to be able to be here to tell it and talk about it and narrate it with my verbal paintbrush.
Where do you think the direction of hip-hop is headed? Do you love where it's at? Do you like where it's going?
I don't like where it's at.
Really?
Because I feel like it's not enough creativity. A lot of people sound the same, bro. A lot of people sound the same. And they talking about a lot of copycat, and a lot of them is saying the same thing over and over and over instead of mixing it up and saying, you know, I'm not trying to act like I'm hella positive, but I am, because I always talk about the things that sound like it ain't positive. I'm a storyteller. It's really positive because I talk about the repercussions and consequences that can happen if you do this. If you slide, you're spinning, you're doing whatever. I'm a storyteller. That's what I've been doing ever since I was a little young mustache in the rap game.
You're going on your 38th album.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What gives E40 motivation when he hits the studio?
My fans. They're like, man, where the real music at, man? We need 40 back. We too creative and too smart to just stay on one subject. And that subject is You understand me? Knocking something down. You know what I mean? It's like our ancestors is rolling over in their grave and we knocking our own people down when we saying it, when we're in the raps.
Now let's talk about where you are now outside of hip hop. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You're doing it all. You got your fingerprints on everything. Goon with the Spoon.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the cookbook.
I started Goon with the Spoon from a song that me and my cousin B Legit did. B Legit was the first one screaming Goon with the Spoon.
Shout out to B Legit.
Basically, I was cooking on IG, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law had bought me a power pressure cooker, because I've always liked to cook. Me and B Legit actually like to cook. We worked at a restaurant back in the days, and they taught us how to, make chicken cordon bleu, escargot, orange roughy, all kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, the Goon with the Spoon, got with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was like, hey, man, I see you cooking for it, because he already was in the cooking space with Martha Stewart and stuff like that. He got a bestseller out right now, and he was like, Cousin Earl, let me put your book out. And I was like, let's go, family, let's go. Because I rock with Snoop Dogg. That's my loved one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's my loved one.
And West Coast Connection is real.
Absolutely, it's real.
Listen, man, I just want to say I appreciate you. Oftentimes, you are described as a West Coast hip-hop legend. It's not the case. We do appreciate you on the West Coast, but you are an icon in hip-hop, in music, and business. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much, brother.
Best-selling author and illustrator Mo Willems is taking one of his beloved characters on a holiday adventure. That character, well, 20 years ago, the Pigeon, made his debut in the children's classic Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. It is still on shelves, including mine. The Pigeon's gone on to star in 8 other books, museum exhibits, even a musical. Now Willems and his beloved bird are back with Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Sleigh, the Pigeon's first holiday book. Mo, thank you for being here. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I'm so happy to be here. Good morning to you.
Now, over Pigeon's long career, the character has been described as conniving and cranky and insistent, and none of these words suggest holiday cheer or...
You write what you know. I think, it took me a long time to write a holiday book because there was an expectation that you would do that. And so I wanted to find some kind of a twist. I think that the Pigeon does have a little bit of the bah humbug in him, and I think that's okay, right? You don't always have to be joyous and happy and like a dancing bear having a great time. Sometimes you can be an angry pigeon.
Well, one thing you do need on the subject of being an angry pigeon is a page in a Mo Willems book involving the pigeon where there is some yelling.
Yes.
This book has that.
The yelling page.
The yelling
page, yes. The all caps page.
Right.
Can we find it? Do you want to do the honors on that?
Sure. Well, this is, but the patent is pending on the Mo Willems yelling page.
What was your thinking about a yelling page?
Well, I think that one of the aspects of being a child is you're not heard. You're not listened to. Like, I make sure that my characters break the fourth wall, that they talk to you, because you, as a reader, as a kid, are not often seen. And some kids don't even realize that they are seeable.
And told to quiet down a lot.
Right.
So how do you read the yelling page?
So here we go, the yelling page. And also, look, I know this is going to be read in a library. This is punk rock.
That's what I'm talking
We're
about.
in the middle of a
Rage
library,
Against the Machine.
Right? Oh, absolutely. So you ready?
Okay.
You gotta give me the nose, though, because it only works with a good no.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to turn the page and I go, let me drive the sleigh!
No!
What was your thinking in the look of the pigeon? And you've never given Pigeon a name.
Yeah, well, the pigeon's first name is The.
Is what?
The.
Okay.
Because the pigeon, well, and this was the thing, when I first created the pigeon, the people said, should it be Petey or whatnot? I'm like, I don't want it to be gendered. I don't want it to be cultured. I want it to be something that is you.
Every kid can identify.
Every kid can see that in the country,
and what was the
in
look
the
you
city.
wanted for it?
I wanted the pigeon to be able to be drawn by a 5-year-old.
Okay.
So it's as simple a form. It's letters and shapes, because I am less interested in the book than in the spark.
Oh.
I want a kid at the end of reading this book to say, I could do this. I could make my own pigeon book. And once we create authors and illustrators that are young, what we are doing when you draw, it's physical empathy. We are creating empathetic people by sparking them through literature.
Empathy and inspiration for the next generation of young writers and authors and illustrators. This covers some traditions, like
Yes.
leaving cookies out for Santa.
Right.
So I gotta ask you, what traditions did you have growing up?
Well, I grew up, so a lot of my traditions were Dutch, and now my family has created our own tradition.
What's that?
So my favorite one is letter from the past, letter from the future.
Huh.
So every time we put our Christmas decorations away, we write a letter to our future self.
Oh.
Dear Willemses of the future.
We're going to steal that.
How was your
Me
year?
too.
What did you do?
How was your year?
How did it go? And then when we open them up, we get this letter from the past. How was your year? What are you doing? How do things go? And that came from this idea that we wanted to make sure that our son was the captain of the tree, that the tree was fun. And so we wrote a note. Remember Tricks
love
of the
that.
captain of the tree?
Yes.
And then our son said, well, what else can we write? How's the dog? How was school this year? Did you
that's
take
great.
that trip?
Remember that thing you were stressed about?
That's exactly. How did that work
20
out?
years plus, Mo, and
Yeah.
you're still going strong, and people still adore you, and the
That's-
children of America, and the adults too.
That's very kind.
Some of those first
it's very
5-year-olds who
true.
read the book are now adults themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll talk about how they're responding to reading it to their own kids with your next installment, okay?
Rock on.
Come back soon.
Fantasia Barrino-Taylor joins us. Hello, hello, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Before we get started, can I
Yes.
say stunning?
I mean, for
Stunning.
you guys, I had.
In the green room, when you walked in and you saw the poster of yourself, you said, I still can't believe this.
Yeah.
I wonder what this feels like to you, Fantasia, because you're used to Grammys, but this is a whole nother ballgame. What is it like for you?
Dream. It's like a dream, a never-ending dream. You know, I was about to run from this.
Why?
Just because I remember playing her on Broadway.
Broadway, yeah.
And it wasn't as easy on Broadway. My life was a bit crazy as well.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was carrying my cross and Celie's cross, and that was overload. Plus, what Blitz did with this one is gave
Blitz,
Celie
the
an
director.
imagination. Yeah, our
Yes.
director, our amazing director.
Yes.
He gave Celie an imagination.
Yes.
She didn't have that on Broadway. So it left everybody trying to figure out how she got through everything. Then all of a sudden you hear, I'm here, and you're happy.
Yes.
But you don't know how she processed to get there. And I'm glad that he gave her an
I've heard you say many times, but I am Celie. But I want to know what you mean by that. I also want people to know how hard you worked on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like you came out there and you were playing. You are acting your butt off in this movie.
Dancing.
Yes, and
Doing stunts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you say you
tap
are
dancing
Celie,
at that.
when you say you are Celie, tell us about your own journey for a bit and how difficult this role was for you.
I relate to her in a lot of ways. But stepping into her shoes is very taxing and it is not easy. Plus, she code switches a lot. She has to play with Mr.
Yes.
Suge Avery, Sophia, Hoppo, old Mister.
Yeah.
And to come in and play with all of those energies, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
And you identify with that.
Yes, I do. I do. I like to say Celie's a Cancer. I'm a Cancer. And she's just a loving woman. My grandmother was a loving woman. My mother. And so I think I had to reach back into my ancestors and pull something out of me that I was terrified to go back to.
You said we get to see another side of Celie, though,
Yes.
this time. What do you mean by that?
Celie's grown up now.
Yeah.
I'm grown up now. I looked at things totally different. I don't think I looked at things when I played Broadway. Like, it was heavy. I didn't know how to let go of the road. I would go home, Celie, wake up, Celie. This time, thank God for Taraji with her crazy self. She helped me leave Celie on set. Celie wasn't ugly.
Yes.
She just needed to be seen. You understand? She wasn't ugly. She was a smart woman. She held the whole town down.
Yes. Yes.
She was Suge Avery's healing.
Yeah.
Suge Avery felt like the first person that seen her was Celie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. No, it was not. But I knew I had to do it.
Fantasia, throughout your career, you have found success in various ways. Do you feel like there were moments where you weren't seen?
Are you trying to make me cry?
I'm just trying to ask you questions.
Yes. Yes, a lot. And that's another reason why Celie means so much.
Do you feel seen now?
I do.
Yeah.
I can see me.
You can see
I know
you.
who. Yes.
Yes.
I know who I am. I had to go through all of that stuff in order to sit here with you today.
When you
To come out on the
think
other
about
side.
those moments where you didn't feel seen, and maybe to the world, Fantasia got it going on.
Yes.
Is there somewhere along this journey you can pinpoint and look back at?
I would say before I met my husband, I was here doing Broadway after midnight.
Yep.
And I decided to put a ring on my finger and love myself because I didn't love myself. And all of the things that I had went through, I was ready to start working on to heal, to get to a better place. And after midnight, I met my king, my best friend. And there he goes.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
He's so fine. He's so fine. That's my best friend. It's not a day that he doesn't wake up and tell me that I'm beautiful. And he calls me queen.
Queen.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. When you think about that journey, I think for a lot of viewers, they'll think back to winning American Idol nearly 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
That seems so long
I know,
ago. I
it's
remember
amazing.
you. Yes.
It's just incredible, incredible. And you had recently had a reunion with Paula Abdul, right?
Yes.
You met her recently. She was one of the judges that season. What was that like, re-entering that?
On the red carpet.
On the red carpet.
Yeah.
I was crying, of course. I'm always crying. But Paula said something to me when I was on Idol. She said, I see you not only singing, I see you being a movie star.
Did she say that?
You can
She
YouTube
spoke
it.
that.
Oh,
She spoke that. So she runs up to me and says,
I
"Do you
told
remember-"
you. Yeah. But I'll bet you didn't see yourself as a movie star.
No.
But you are a movie star now. And the thing about this movie is that it's so relatable on so many different levels, don't you think?
Yeah.
When you look at the story and the sisterhood of the women, of the women.
Yeah. I also love it because it's not just a black thing.
Yes.
It's a world thing.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to this movie. When we went to watch it for the first time, my husband sat in the back and I was holding Taraji and Gabby's hand. And he reached over and he squeezed me. He says, I'm about to cry. Now, he don't cry often. So when it was over, I said, I'm wondering what almost brought you to tears. My husband grew up without his father. He met his father on his dying bed. So Mr.'s story with Harpo, it touched him in a way. So I feel like this is not just a woman thing. It's not just a black thing. It's a male, female, young, old, all nationalities. And it's very entertaining, but I believe when you leave, it's gonna hit different.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's a human thing, Fantasia.
Yes. Yes.
Fantasia Barrymore.
Yeah.
So Golden Globe nominee.
How
I
about
predict Oscar. I'm going to be like Paula Abdul. I see an Oscar nominee. You, Nate?
Put it into
Tony, do you
I see it. I'm getting a vision. of you being nominated for an Oscar.
No doubt.
Oh my
Fantasia, I could speak for us here and
Yes.
everybody. We see you.
Yes.
And thank you
yes.
for your
Thank you.
contributions.
Corey Hawkins joins us first on CBS Mornings. Corey Hawkins nailing it again. I just want to take a little backtrack about your career before we talk about Purple, because the things that have happened to your life are so amazing to me. The Tennis Open, somebody drops out, can't sing. What's the song, America the Beautiful? Not the national anthem.
Yeah, it was God Bless America.
God Bless America. You get the call, you sing it, you nail it, and who is there that day?
It was Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He sees you.
In the audience, yeah.
And he casts you in
the Heights.
In the Heights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so serendipitous, don't you think?
It really
That's
is.
how it happens.
It's crazy.
And now here we are, Color Purple, and you started singing songs from the Color Purple in Juilliard.
Yeah.
Were you dreaming about this role, Corey, or you just thought, I like the music? And here you are, starring in Color Purple.
It's crazy when we talk about dreams and, like, you know, that thing about Color Purple is that all things purple are all things divine, because that's very true. Like, I don't know if I was dreaming it up or my ancestors were dreaming it up, but Danielle Brooks and I were both at Juilliard in singing class, in the hallways, just singing the music. Like, it was a part of who we were.
Wow.
And so all of these years later, God don't make no mistakes. Like, that's the crazy thing. When I think about it, what are the odds that we would be in this position right now?
Playing Harpo and Sophia as husband and wife. Yes. Yes.
It's not coincidence.
isn't.
I always thought that coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous.
Ooh.
I want to talk specifically about this role.
Yeah.
Harpo. It's a powerful role, and it's been played by powerful actors before. But there's something deeper with the connection between you and this role. You say that this role helped heal your relationship with your father. How so?
Yeah, I think the beautiful part about being able to tap into the men in this story, the story is about sisterhood. It truly is about that journey, Ceely's journey. But it's about unlocking that imagination, unlocking possibility and hope, and having that conversation. And Harpo is a sort of, he's an outlier in that generation, I think. He's a businessman. He loves Sophia, this strong-minded woman.
A little bit more sensitive.
Yeah, there's tenderness there. And
there's some generational curses he's trying to break.
That's right. That's right. He's the one who gets to make a choice, man. He gets to make a choice to change. And if he can do it back then, you know, I think it's a beacon for this generation as well in terms of Black love and how the many different facets of it. Through all of our abuse, through all of the trauma, there's joy and possibility at the end. And I think Harpo and Sophia's love, they represent that in this story.
And your father specifically, how was your relationship growing up?
It was complicated. I grew up in a single mother, you know, with a single mother, raised me and my sister. And my father was there, but he also had his demons that he had to fight with, the monkey on his back. And as a man now, I see that in a different way, you know, and it was great to be at the premiere with him. He's never had a chance to come to any of my, you know, my things.
And he's on the premiere with you.
He's on the carpet. Yeah. Oprah told me he ran up on her, was like, you know, just want to say, you know, and she just turned around and just told him how grateful she was to have me in the project. And, you know, so
That's
I know
awesome.
it meant a lot to him.
But for him to see you, considering the relationship, to see you on the red carpet, I think is amazing.
He had, you know, it was emotional, I think, for him.
And for you too.
It was.
And for you too, Corey.
Talk a little bit about the craft here, building this character, which was a book, and then a movie, a musical, and now a musical movie, right? So did you go back to the source material, or did you already have it because of the time you spent at Juilliard singing it?
I think so. I always think of, like, Alice Walker, she wrote this incredible, I call it a poem, you know, but they're letters to God. She starts with Dear God, you know?
Yes.
And so I always saw that as her prayer for Harpo, her prayer for Sophia, her prayer for Ceely and Suge, her prayer for me as a young Black man. And so I did go back to the source material. And that's the beautiful part about this film, is that it's a reimagining. It's not a remake. Like, we're touching some other stuff here. We're digging into our history and finding a way through that. And I love that about this film. And also, I got to see Danielle Brooks in this in 2015 on Broadway. So that was also, you know, that touch point as well was beautiful for me too.
But now this movie's getting Oscar buzz. You know, a lot of the Hollywood publications are signaling. What's the word?
Signaling.
Yes, singling out your performance is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
What
I
does
said
that
it wrong
mean?
too, yo.
What does that mean to you, Corey, as you sit here at this stage in your life with all that you've done? There's something special about this movie.
There is, and I don't know that it's for me to name it, but I will claim it. You know.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that.
And this man is also training for a marathon. Thank you very much.
In the middle of all of this, I'm
training for a marathon.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that too.
Yeah. I mean, but again, the idea of possibility in achieving your dreams, it's all possible.
Keep soaring, Corey Hawkins.
That's right.
Keep soaring.
Corinne Savage, better known as Karuk, and Olivia Barton are here with us first on CBS Mornings. Congratulations, guys, on the song and this fabulous book. You wrote it in 10 minutes. And Olivia, you said that you wanted to help Karuk create something weird. Where did this all come from?
Yeah, so Corinne was having a hard day. You want to tell them about the hard day you were having?
Just getting a lot of hate comments online for the first time, and I brought that to Olivia and was like, why am I so weird? I hate that I don't fit in anywhere. And she was like, I love that you're weird. It's the coolest thing about you.
Yeah, I just remember having this feeling of like, I think that the weird things about you are the best things about you. So let's make something out of it.
Okay, let's just let that settle. The weird things about you are the best things about you. That is such an important message. What's it like for you guys to see all these people performing your songs and really owning it and owning that message?
It's overwhelming, for sure. I don't think we had any idea when we posted the song that it would create such an incredible community of weirdos and like people that were like cheering each other on to be weird and accept themselves. It was a wild process.
I always like to say that representation matters.
Yes.
And in this book, the illustrations are very intentional. I love it, especially the second to the last page. It just seems like you can find yourself in anyone on this page. How
Absolutely.
intentional were you when creating the inclusivity?
Very.
Very.
Yeah.
That was our #1 priority.
#1 priority.
Absolutely. There's a reason I feel like I don't fit in. It's because there's certain standards in the world that are
Certain boxes.
Yes, certain boxes that people are put in, and I wanted to make sure that everybody felt like they could read this book and see themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people feel like they don't fit in those boxes, right? They feel weird themselves, and yet, you're so right, people on the internet are so mean, and it's like, why don't they realize there's a human being on the other end of it? I mean, what is the answer to the rhetorical question of why are people on the internet so weird? Do you have one?
Yeah.
Why are people on the internet so mean? I think it's because we've never had so much access to comparing ourselves. I think we wake up in the morning and we have a box that we can look at and see what everybody else has and we don't. And I think that's really hard for some people. And while I don't usually, I would never aim that at somebody else, some people do.
Yeah. It's hard
But
to feel.
I also feel like when people live in their own peace and they're comfortable with themselves, it makes other folks insecure. So the mean
You're right.
people are literally just holding up a mirror to themselves,
Yeah.
showing their own insecurities.
Insecurities.
And y'all are helping with people battle those insecurities. And hopefully the mean people can just, continue to do what they do.
And then you got flooded with all these positive comments about
Right.
your song when it really grew out of the negative. My favorite is, this song is a serotonin factory.
I remember that one, yeah.
I hope you turn notifications back on.
Yes.
It's on now.
Yeah, some of them were amazing.
So song, book, all over the place, millions of streams, and people are listening. Movie next?
Oh my gosh. Movie.
Oh, okay.
That looks like a movie
We
pose.
didn't even make a music video now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe a music video would be the first.
I mean, we know a few people at Paramount, so
Yeah,
here's
okay.
some calls for you.
Great. We're in.
Yeah.
We only have a few seconds left, but what is the story behind that fabulous frog on your head?
I'm going to be honest with you. I got it for my birthday. Olivia and I decided to set up the camera to sing this song, and I just saw it on the wall. I was like, I'm going to wear that hat for this video.
That's fire.
And it has been iconic ever since, I guess. So.
I love it so
It's honest, it's intuitive. I mean, it's all amazing for 10 minutes of work. You really moved the culture. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Farouk and Olivia Barton, thank you so much.
David Oyelowo, we're happy to say, joins us in the studio. Congratulations to you, Mr. Oyelowo.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so fascinated that this story is even on the screen, and it's because of the hard work and your passion for it. What drew you? Did you like Westerns as a kid?
Yeah, I grew up wanting to be a cowboy like a lot
did?
of kids. Yeah, as a 6-year-old watching The Lone Ranger and all those kind of things. But yeah, it was in 2014 someone approached me with the idea of me playing Bass Reeves, and I just couldn't believe that this guy wasn't already like Billy the Kid or Wyatt Earp, just so known.
Had you even heard of Bass Reeves?
No.
I've never heard of him until the show.
No,
Yeah.
no, and even with the show coming out, so many people don't know who he is, which is why I was obsessed with telling the story.
So I want to hear about how you got into acting in the role, but first, you're also an executive producer, which is a new role for you, right?
I mean, I've produced movies, but this is my first American TV show, and doing 8 episodes of something, 6 months of shooting in Texas, that was new and something this big, so
You
yeah.
say you did it out of necessity. What was the necessity?
Just the fact that, it's 150 years since these events have happened. Why have we not seen him in a movie, in a TV show? Why are kids not dressing up as him at Halloween? I just didn't understand it because his achievements are just so seismic.
This past weekend, Oprah threw a party to celebrate the series, and we had some familiar faces in the building. I believe we have some shots. Okay, Gayle in the house. But you have mentioned saying that Oprah is like a mother to you. What would be the best advice that you ever heard from her?
Oh, she really taught me the power of no, really being judicious with your choices. And I attribute the fact that Bass is in the world now partly to that. You can spend time focused on things that are not really your calling, not really your destiny. This felt like destiny to me, much like when playing Dr. King came into my world. So I stuck with it, and she's a big reason why I was
It
able
felt like
to do
destiny to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you even know how to ride a horse? Do you ride a horse?
I've ridden, but not to the degree I had to for this. For about over a year, I was riding in different terrain because, you know, he was incredible at that. There were so many components to it, the accent, the physical strength component,
Let's
go through this.
Let's talk about the accent, David, because not only, clearly you have a British accent, but Bass Reeves, you talk Southern, it's raspy, and you're even singing.
Right.
How do you do this? And it's like you drop your voice and you're talking. And
In addition to all the other roles where we
Yes.
have seen you flex this instrument that you have.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I mean, one of the great things about the way we've done this is that we cover 15 years of his life. So in the beginning of the show, he's in his mid-20s. By the end, he's in his late 30s. And I really wanted to show the passage of time. And it was a hard life, living out in the open like that. He was a farmer for about 10 years. That didn't go very well. So I just really wanted to show the effect it had on his body. And as we get older, you know, things change.
He's gone from his family, too, for great stretches of time. I know you're the father of 4.
Yeah.
Did you relate to that on that level about how do you balance? Because at one point, you're the one who plays your wife, Lauren, she's amazing.
Yes,
It's
she
like, what's more important, your family or the job that you're doing here?
Well, one of the things we really wanted to do is to make a show that wasn't just for fans of Westerns.
I think that's why I like it, because I'm not normally a Western girl.
Right.
I like it because you're in it. But I also like the family portion of
There's a
what you show.
relatability to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's universal. No matter who you are, you can relate to the idea of a family, the work-life balance being a challenge. He's on the road a lot of the time. And basically, we framed the show around his desire to get back to his family. Every time he's out on the road, I need to get back to my family. And that, I think, is something that is making it not just feel like a Western, but something that is just a universal story that...
As an actor, you identify with that.
Absolutely. I have 4 kids.
I've seen your social media where you share these moments, intimate moments.
Oh, I hate being away from my kids. If I'm going to be away from my kids, it better be worth it to me. And so, you know, we were shooting this for 6 months. It was worth it, but it took a toll, as it does on Bass Reeves and his family.
But I was reading the rule is with you and your wife that you have 25 years together. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, she's awesome, too.
The rule is you try to not spend 2 weeks more than 2 weeks away from one another.
Yeah, never more than 2 weeks. We did break it by 11 hours once, though.
Shame.
I know.
He knows it by the hour.
I know.
It was so painful. I mean, so painful.
Oh, that's love.
But I saw her the other night. She still seems in love, as do you.
I'm
the
very
other
in
thing
love,
that's great when the celebration, all the opportunities that you're giving to younger Black actors on this role, because you don't see young Black actors in a Western.
No.
Clearly that was important.
So true. Yeah,
I hadn't thought of it until I looked around the room, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm most proud of. You know, like you mentioned Lauren E. Banks, who plays my wife in it. Phenomenal actress. Tosin Moronfola, who's amazing. I found out he's my cousin while we were shooting.
Wow.
In real life?
Yeah, in real life. So crazy. Grantham Coleman, Demi Singleton, Lonnie Chavis. You know, just really, really, Joaquina Calacango, Forrest Goodluck, all these young actors who I truly believe are the future. And to have them in this one show is just really, really special.
It's a great show. It's a great series. I'm so glad it got made. People are learning about Bass Reeves, and I'm so glad it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
Thank you.
me
So
too.
am I.
No doubt.
Me
Thanks,
too.
guys.
I love Bass Reeves is David Oyelowo. The other good thing is people now know how to say Oyelowo. When it first came out, I'm like, how do you say his name?
I know. I always
all
said
know.
that's how I will know I've arrived.
Yes.
When they say it right.
David Oyelowo. We all know it. That is the great Maluma. You know, Maluma, I've been smitten for you for a long time. So I love seeing your success. You keep rising and rising, and now your 3rd Grammy nomination. What does this mean to you? We're pulling for you.
Wow, this is a big deal. Like being nominated to the Grammy, American Grammys with a Latin album. It's a big deal for my community, you know, for my country, for my city, Medellin. I feel like it's a big thing. So we're working for that. I mean, winning the Grammy, that's my dream. But performing at the Grammys, that's what we're looking for right now.
You know, and I remember when I first met you, you said, I will always sing in Spanish. I won't sing in English. And people were saying, please, for those of us who don't, please, please, please. But I also admire that you have stuck to that.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it doesn't
mean,
it doesn't mean I'm not gonna do it, you know. You know, like I did it before. I liked the experiment. That was pretty cool, but I don't feel like I was letting people know what I was thinking or feeling, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's a different language. And in Spanish, we have like these different words. We have like 5 or 6 forms or ways to say love, you know?
Right.
Te amo, te adoro, te aprecio, te quiero. You know, there's so many ways to say that. That's what I prefer doing in Spanish. But still, I want to do it. It doesn't matter. Maybe
So
one
maybe
day.
one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Now, maybe one day. You have Paris on your
yes, sir.
chain.
And it's not
Is it
because I
your
love
favorite
the city.
city?
It's not because you love the city. So
I love it, but
you recently dropped some news on us that you are expecting, you and your girlfriend
Yeah, man.
are expecting a baby girl.
Yes, sir.
How does that make you feel?
Well, that's for real the big deal, man. That's something crazy that is happening right now. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling honored.
You're feeling honored, Dad.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty honored with my girl too. You know,
Shout out to Susanna.
Yeah. Shout out to Susie. She's not here. She's at the hotel resting. Yeah, you know, because the belly's growing pretty fast. We have already 6 months, so the baby's gonna be in March.
Are you singing to the baby and talking to the baby? Because the baby can hear you. Your daughter can hear you.
Yeah, we were on tour actually for 3 months here in the States. So Susanna was with me, the baby was with me the whole tour.
I
So
hope the baby was with you. Yeah.
of course.
How'd you decide on Paris?
Yeah, and also, how did you decide on picking it before you meet her?
Yeah, man, that was weird. You know that I was telling Gayle that when I saw Susanna for the first time, I was like 19 years old, right? But I was a kid. I just moved by myself, and then my mind was just on my career. But then, like almost 10 years later, I saw her again, and the day I met her,
whoa!
The day I saw her again, I was like, wow, what happened here? Like, you know, I feel like we're gonna be together. Something special is going on
You
right now.
had a feeling.
Yeah, I had this feeling, crazy feeling, and then I told her that night. I was like, you know what? You're gonna be the mom from my.
And she said,
my-
"Bye, T."
And she was like, nah, what do you mean, man? I was like, yeah, for sure. I feel
Maluma,
this
what's the song you
feeling.
sing to your daughter?
I love Amor de mi vida.
Let me hear.
Which
Just
which
give me a bar.
means love of my life. You know, so it's a pretty special song that I composed 2 years ago.
But do you have a goofy song that you made up that's just for the baby? Just that, because you'll find it's going to change your life in all the best ways. But are you already singing little sing-songs that just make no sense other than to you and Susie and the baby?
Well, so I prefer talking to the baby. I prefer, like, the first thing I do when I woke up is going to see the belly. Hello, my love, how is Paris? I start talking to Paris, and she starts moving, she starts kicking.
She's dancing.
Yo, maybe a soccer player, I think so.
Well, you know a little thing about soccer, but they say your album Don Juan, you say Don Juan is an alter ego for you, but they call this album your most dynamic yet, because you mix all sorts of genres.
Yeah.
Salsa, reggaeton. Do you think that it's your best album yet? Why is it so special to you?
Every time I release an album, I feel that it's good, but when I release it, I feel that I can do better. So I'm still pretty hungry. I'm young. This next year, I'm gonna turn 30. So it's, I feel like mature, but in a good age, you know, like pretty productive. That I want to keep working and keep exploring different genres. You know, let's see what happens.
And you said that your dream was to take care of your family, like most young people.
Years ago, you said that. Yes.
Seems like you've had success.
Yeah.
You're able to do that.
Yes, sir.
What's motivating you now?
Bro, Paris. That's my biggest motivation right now. Like, I don't know, but every dad's gonna say the same, but there's a switching on your mind, you know? Like, when I knew that I was gonna become a dad, I knew immediately that everything I'm doing right now, I'm not doing it because for me or my close family. It's because of Paris, you know?
It changes the way you look at the world.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like a grown-up, like an adult in a new way.
A different point of view of everything, a different perception of everything.
Yes, of everything.
So yeah, I'm feeling like right now I'm living in a very blessed spot. You know,
Yes.
doing all the things that I love.
We are
that's
happy
blessed.
for you.
Yeah.
What is Paris's middle name?
Gayle.
Paris Gayle, I like
Paris Gayle.
Hey,
Paris Gayle.
It's new to me.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna tell you, that little girl gonna talk a lot. I love
But
Gayle.
she's gonna be so nice.
So this is a proper date?
Yep, this is a date.
So then,
Don't worry, I've paid already.
oh, cool, that's nice.
In her YouTube series, Chicken Shop Date,
Amelia de Moldenberg has a knack for creating viral moments.
Can you remember any of the rap that you did?
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
I almost see it more of like a comedy series than an interview series in a way.
Shot in chicken shops around London.
Can you cook?
No.
Ooh.
Not to worry, can you?
No.
To worry.
Her dates draw millions of views for the 29-year-old interviewer.
You seem to know that part very well.
Yeah, I do. I mean, thank you for saying that. I like the gems on your teeth.
They're not gems, they're diamonds, but...
Oh, sorry. As soon as I'm in the shop, then I'm sort of like, okay, it's time to be the girl from Chicken Shop Date. And
who is that girl?
Who is she? Well, it's like an exaggeration of me.
Yeah.
I'm probably a bit more serious in real life, and maybe not as awkward. I heard you don't have a phone.
I don't have a phone.
So how do you sext?
Wow. You've kind of elevated awkwardness to an art form.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Can I get that in writing? I'll put that everywhere. I've always found awkwardness to be quite charming.
And disarming.
And disarming.
Yeah.
Awkwardness is a part of life.
Yeah.
It happens every day, especially if you're British.
This is quite meta. This is kind of like high art.
Well, dating me is an art.
Matty Healy, frontman of the band The 1975, created his own awkward moment.
Let's kiss. For real, right now.
No. I can't reach. I never thought that he would try and kiss me over the table.
It's pathetic.
You look somewhat disgusted.
I was more like surprised, and then I thought, oh my God, how am I going to play this? And I thought, I obviously can't kiss him.
You didn't have a lot of time to make a decision.
I didn't. I had a split second, which is why I thrive under pressure, it seems. And so I kissed him on the forehead, which I think was the absolutely right decision. I like it when people sort of surprise me at my own game.
Growing up in London, de Moldenberg dreamed of being the editor of Vogue.
Where did that come from?
I was just obsessed with reading fashion magazines.
Okay.
I actually blame Mary-Kate and Ashley for making me such an ambitious child, because they really had it all and I wanted to do it all too.
At Central St. Martin's University, she studied fashion journalism.
I had a scrapbook
Yeah.
and I would literally pull bits out, stick it into my scrapbook,
Yeah.
and I would write, honestly, the most critical comments.
Yeah.
Like I was so brutal.
She was 17 when she conceived Chicken Shop Date. First for a youth club magazine, then on YouTube.
Do you think you're going to go to any more dates in a chicken shop?
Maybe I might go back with you, because you're a cheap date.
She has a team behind her now, but is still her own boss.
The weight is on your shoulders, and that has often filled me with a lot of worry.
How do you deal with that worry?
I mean, I talk to my sister a lot.
Yeah.
And my...
What does she tell you?
Well, she just tells me to calm down.
Does that work?
Most of the time. Yeah, it does, because she's very level-headed, and so I'll sort of like word vomit all of my anxieties, being like, I don't know if they're going to turn up. Like, do you think this question is okay to ask?
You look golden. I love this outfit.
Thank you. I am golden for the Golden Globe.
Lately, de Moldenberg is in demand on red carpets.
Hi, Barbie.
She hosted at the Barbie premiere.
Do you have any advice on how to find a Ken?
I mean, a Ken really should find you.
My job is interviewing celebrities. Where better to find them than on a red carpet? You know, there's just an influx of them.
It's a conveyor belt of them.
It's literally a conveyor belt of celebrities. So for me, that's my dream. I mean, like, wow, I couldn't think of a better place to stand for 4 hours in heels.
Well, you got your Andrew Garfield moment, and it turned out to be a big one.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm asking that right now.
But you do date a lot of people.
Yeah, and?
Oh no, it's wonderful. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like less special, I guess.
No way, you are the most special.
Their flirty exchanges have racked up tens of millions of views online.
I'm really happy that it gave so many people, put a smile on people's faces.
I only ever want to see you.
What?
That's not the end of the sentence. That's not the end of the sentence.
After years of chasing the stars, now they're coming to her. But de Moldenberg is still waiting for her dream date, Drake.
If that happens, is that the sort of mic drop moment on Chicken Shop Date?
I think so. I think it would be an amazing moment to end on.
He's actually offered you dates before, but not in a chicken shop.
No, and I'm playing hard to get, so you know you got to keep them on the toes. Well, he wanted to do to film in other countries.
It was like Sweden or something.
Sweden, yes. Yeah. And I said it has to be in the UK. You know, we have to do the real deal.
There's not many people that would turn down even a date in Sweden with Drake.
I know it's true, but I just think that like we need to keep it authentic. So for me, it was important that we did it in a local chicken shop, and he agreed. I'm always right.